Today we had discussed the different types of plane truss. Today we will discuss about the different reactions at the supports of a frame or truss. Then we will discuss the different methods how to analysis the different trusses by solving the different problems. Now come to the first, how we are going to find out the reactions at supports of a frame. Now there are two types of supports at this truss. First one is roller support, then second one is hinge support. Okay, so at the roller support, already we had discussed there is only one vertical force, but at the hinged support there is two types of reaction forces. One is vertical reaction and another is horizontal reaction. So where the roller support is there on the truss, there only we are going to find out the vertical reaction forces. Okay, but if there is any hinged support, then we are going to find out two types of reaction forces. One is horizontal reaction forces, another is vertical reaction forces. Okay, now come to the analysis of the different plane trusses. So before going to do the analysis of the trusses, we are going to find out, or we are going to do some assumptions. First assumption: consider truss is a perfect one and statically determinate. Yesterday we discussed about the perfect plane truss, statically determinate plane truss. So we will consider that every plane truss or every truss is a perfect one and statically determinate. Then second assumption: all the members consisting the truss are rigid and lie in the same plane. We will consider that all the members of the truss are rigid and lie in the same plane. The next assumption: the external loads and reactions at the joints only. What we will do now, we will consider or assume that there is external loads and reactions only at the joints. Then the analysis of the frame or the plane truss can be done by two methods. One is by joint method, another is by section method. Now we will discuss about the joint method. So before going to discuss about the joint method, there are also some points or some notes we have to remember. Now the question is arising in our mind that why we will do the analysis. Now because by doing the analysis we are going to find out the different reaction forces at the supports of a frame, and also we are going to find out the forces of the members. Okay, now come to the joint method. First point we have to remember: every joint is treated separately by free body diagram and apply the equilibrium method or the equation of equilibrium. That is, sum of all vertical force is equal to 0, and that is sum of all horizontal force is equal to 0. Okay, now then second consideration is that if there is single force, that is a single force cannot be form a system in equilibrium. Hence, if there is only one force acting at a joint, then for the equilibrium of the joint, that force will be 0. That means, now see, this is an example. If this is a single member, okay, and there is, so on a single member there is only one single force. So here we will consider that by applying the equilibrium condition of equilibrium method, that force will be 0 or F is equal to 0. Then third point: when two members meeting at a joint and are not collinear and there is no external force. Now look into this example. Here there are two members, QR and PR, and these two members are attached at the single point. Now see, and here is no external load is applied. So the two forces F1 and F2 should be 0. We will consider that these two forces are equal and opposite in direction. Okay, then come to the next consideration. When there are three members meeting at a point and there will be no external load at the joint. Come to this example. Here there are three members we are going to consider. This is one member, this is one member, and this is one member. So there are three members joint at the single point. Now see, and also there is no external force. Now this is F1, this is F2 and F3. See, this F1 and F2 are collinear. Collinear means these two forces are acting in a straight line. So what will happen? Now we will consider that this third force is equal to 0. Okay, now we will discuss two examples how we will consider or how we will analyze the different forces. See here, this is two triangles attached in a plain truss. This is one triangle, this is one break. Here there are two hinge supports at the point A and at the point B. There are two hinge supports. Now at the point C there is one external load W1 which is applied vertically downward, and at the point G that is W2 which is applied vertically downward. Okay, and there is no other external loads here. See here in this truss, take the joint D. Now take the joint D. See, there are three members, member AD, member DF, another member is CD. Now see, already we have discussed these two members are collinear. So the other member here, this CD, so the force on the other member CD should be 0. So what we will do, consider? Now there are three forces, one force on the member AD, another force on the member DF, and another force that is on the member CD. The force on the member AD and the force on the member DF are collinear, so the third force on the member CD should be 0. So here we can write FCD is equal to 0. Similarly at the point E, similarly see, at the point E there are three members, CE member, EG member and EF member. Okay, so the force on the CE member, the force on the CE member and the force on the EG member are collinear or are acting in a straight line. So the third force which is we are going to find out on the member EF should be 0. So this force should be 0. Okay, also we have written. Now come to the second example. See, this is the cantilever truss. Cantilever means only one member is fixed, other member is hanging. So this is cantilever truss, and this is a triangular form. See, at the point C, look at the point C, there are different members. One member is BC, another is CE, then SE, CD. Okay, then come to the point D, at the joint D. This is the joint D. Here we can see there are three members. One member is AD, another member is DE, and another member is CD or DC. Now look, these two members AD and DE are collinear. So what we will do? Now the forces on the two collinear members F1 and F2 we will find out, but at the but on the member CD the force F3 should be equal to 0. Okay, then come to the at the point C. Already we have discussed this is one member, second member, third member, fourth member. But what we have considered now, the force F3 is 0. Now there is only three members. Okay, the force on the member CB is F5, the force on the member CE is F6, and the force on the member SE is F4. Now these F5 and F6 are collinear. So what will happen? Now the force F4 should be 0. So see, at the point joint C, F3 and F4 are 0. Okay, so later part we will discuss one problem. Okay guys, okay.